This is for all my thankful people. Y'all do me a favor, turn your radios up. Let's go.
My guest today on Rhema Gospel Express is a dynamic, extraordinary person. I'm talking about none other than Sonny Brown.
So many times in my darkest hour, Lord, you've been my closest friend.
Gospel Express today, special guest, brother that started at an early age. He was surrounded by ones who were musically inclined. I'm talking about none other than Sonny Brown. Like to say hello once again, Sonny.
Greetings to you, Elder. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Bless. Sonny, you are awesome and amazing. Sonny, out of all the things in the world, why gospel music?
Man, why gospel music? I grew up in church, deeply rooted and grounded in church. This is the foundation. And I believe that our job is to spread the gospel. Our job is to spread the good news of Jesus Christ, understanding what the gospel is, how he was crucified, buried, and resurrected on the third day and was granted power in heaven and earth. And that's our job, to go out and spread the good news of Christ. And opportunities, of course, have been presented. But this is in my DNA. It's been rooted and embedded in me. And I see no other way but to spread the gospel and to sing the gospel. And I grew up in it, so I have no choice.
Now, musically inclined, share with us the ones that most surrounded you or you caught hold of.
Well, growing up, as I said, I grew up in quartet. My father sings with the Brooklyn All-Stars, Sonny McClary. It's been there 20 years, came there after the legendary Mr. Hardy Clifton. So growing up around the Brooklyn All-Stars, singing on both sides of the family, my mother and my father. I grew up in quartet. I grew up around the guitars and the vocal harmony, the hard, flat-footed singing. And so I was blessed with the opportunity at the age of about 19 or 20 to sing with the Fantastic Violinaires. Came out on the road, traveled with them, Mr. Bobo, God bless his soul, rest in peace, Mr. Charlie Brown, another legend, Tito, Danny, Frank Thompson, David Battle, the guys that we've grown to know and love. God blessed me to be able to sing with them. And from there, God took me to another level. Got the call to sing with Mr. Percy Griffin. God bless his soul, a trendsetter, trailblazer in the gospel music industry. Swanee Quintet, him and Mr. Eddie Bynes, Mr. Schoolboy, the guitars, Mr. Johnny Reese. And man, that is humbling every time I think about it, because as I stated with you earlier, I was able to travel and meet so many different people, celebrities, so many different states, so many different stages. And it definitely has me in the position I am today. It's definitely been influential. Quartet has been influential. Gospel music has been influential in where I am today, and I dare not take it for granted.
Now, let's go back a little bit further. Where does Marvin Gaye?
Marvin Gaye, yes, sir.
Yes. How did he influence you?
Man, Marvin Gaye influenced me by his tone. His tone with his singing, it was very, very distinct, very clear, and the message with his music, and of course the arrangement, the sonics that he used musically for us to be able to connect to all listeners, all audiences. Al Green was another one that I was influenced by, the message in his songs, his tone, his vocal ability, and that's just to name a few. But when you start talking about gospel and you think about Dixie Hummingbirds and the Mighty Clouds of Joy, Julius Cheeks, the Willie Banks and the Messengers, the Fairfield Four, Swan Silvertones, the Gospel Airs, Texas Boys, the Bolton Brothers, like the list goes on and on and on. And it's like you just fall in love with the music. You just fall in love. We have 4 or 5 guys standing up there, and how they can make it sound like it's a huge choir singing behind them, you know, or the message in the songs, those songs that, that called traditional or whatever, but these are the songs that definitely kept us, and quartet is definitely influential in gospel music. This is the foundation of gospel music, just to be a part of it, to sing in something as prolific as this genre of music is humbling all in itself.
I'm looking at your posture, and it seems that you are well seasoned, not only in music, but even with the word.
Yes, so I actually was ordained this year as an elder in the Lord's Church back a few months ago, and that was something that I ran from a long time. As I said, I grew up in church, and you hear you're going to preach one day and all of this stuff, and if I can be honest with you, I wasn't paying it no attention. I was focused on playing basketball. I wanted to do my own thing, and the more I ran, the harder it got, and the further I thought I was getting away, the closer I actually was getting towards God, because it caused me to pray more. It caused me to have to depend on him more, because my own situations was causing me to be frustrated. It was causing me to think irrational. It was just causing me to be confused in my thoughts. And so the more I ran, the closer it brought me to him. And I decided, it's better to do it his way. I've tried it my way thousands of times, and I messed up even more, but with him, although we may not know what the next step is, faith is something that I definitely hold on to. So, yes, sir.
Now, since you've taken that step, because it's good to know, you teach Sunday school. Share with us, in just a few words, what today's Sunday school meant to you.
It was an eye opener. Right now, we're in the book of Revelation, and we're dealing with a lot of the things that are getting ready to take place, the imagery that John is seeing, how the agriculture is affected, how the waters have been contaminated, how the demons and the locusts have been given all of this power to torment man for 3.5 years, and you still had some that did.
Okay, you blocked out on them.
Their idols, and man, we're getting the revelation of Jesus Christ. We're getting the things that are to come, for those that don't want to turn to him. And it's definitely an eye opener. I know we see a lot of things on the news, Fox and CNN, but this is definitely an eye opener, and has us tuned in, but we're also learning, that victory has been given to the risen Lamb, has been given to Jesus Christ, and he's coming back for his church. He's coming back for his people. Even we touched on the prayers of the saints early in the previous chapter, and they asked the Lord, they said, how long before you avenge us? How long are we going to have to suffer? How long are our prayers going to have to go up before you move? And just lets us know that there's an appointed time for God to move. There's an appointed time for his word to come to pass. And although we don't know when it is, we just have to trust him.
I was about to say that. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
Lean not.
Now, I know we're here to talk about your music, but even as an artist, with you seeing things the way that people are living, confessing, I love the Lord, and many of them are very sincere. But how do you break the ice and letting people know? How do you feel the best way to let people know that it's not about slipping and sliding, peeping and hiding? It's not about connecting with he when you are he, or she with you or she.
Right.
But how do you break the ice that sin is sin?
Regardless, right. Well, and I think the first thing with me is to be real with them. One of my favorite in the scriptures is the Apostle Paul, because Paul let him know that, he was injurious, he was a blasphemer, that he had a past, that listen, I was one of the ones too that wasn't doing things the way that I should have done, but he became all things to all people. He became a light so that he can go out to the Gentiles to be able to let them know, like, hey, look, I was once bound, I was a slave to sin, but there is a way out. And I think the first thing we have to do is just be real and say, hey, look, you slipped, you messed up, but it's not an excuse to stay there. And he asks that we continue in sin, that grace may abound. No, we shouldn't. I know the flesh. I know it's a struggle. I mean, we go through, but there's a way that God has given to us, and that's the law. And regardless of if the world calls good evil and evil good, we still have to abide by the law, and that is what God's word says. And so, as you said, even to now, we see so much going on in the world, and we're trying to combat with, how do we still get the message across? How do we still get people to see, that his word is going to come to pass, that his laws and precepts don't change. And I believe that spreading the gospel through song is definitely influential all in itself, because even with you guys with radio, we have the ability to reach so many people. But we also have to spread it with the word and let people know that there still is heaven and hell. There still is a God that is going to judge us. And so the best thing we can do is just try to get it right, live the way we should, treat each other right, love our neighbor. Because even as we study in Revelation, there's a time coming where the earth as we know it now won't be here anymore. And there's a time coming to where we won't be able to turn around and say, I'm sorry, or I didn't hear the message, or I didn't want to change because I still want to be mad a little bit longer. Like, nah, that's not the way it should be. So, and I get it. We're human, things happen. I get it, but God he's giving us away. He's giving us away. And so,
the old song that said, right now it's sweet and my joy is complete. I'm saved. You've got to walk the walk. And when you walk the walk, then you can talk the talk. Right.
And I've been on both sides. So I understand that. Paul said one time, he said, I was the chief of sinners, and again, I'm not highlighting that, but again, I know I've been there, and it's one thing when you've been there, you can identify with the traps. You can identify when the enemy, again, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness. A lot of times we're fighting the person. It's not the person. We have to recognize when the enemy has crept in, and so, like I said, experience, it's a good teacher. It's a good teacher. Wisdom is an even better teacher. Listening is an even better teacher. And a lot of times God will give us the way out. He'll give us the answer. Sometimes we don't want to listen because we got to tell them all. We got to get our point across. But I thank God because he still keeps us even when we slip and we mess up. He loves us and he still picks us up and restores us and say, hey, look, you messed up, but let's get it right. So,
hey, global listeners, we're talking to artist Sonny Brown.
Sonny Brown.
Yes, Brown. Okay, I don't know why I want to say Sammy. Sonny Brown.
Yes, sir.
But, man, still a young man. And I am so glad that he has connected with us today to be able to share not only about his gospel music, but to let us know he had a past just like I had a past, just like some of you have a past. And I hate to say, some of you that are still living in your past, but you can come out. But hey, let's get back into your music. Yes, sir. Share with us a little bit about the music that you wrote.
Well, this single right here is called Thank You. And I was on my lunch break one day and I was scrolling on Facebook. I saw a lot of friends that I went to high school with, people that I was connected to. It was a lot of rest in peace statuses. They were losing loved ones. Loved ones were in the sick. They were, fighting for their life due to the pandemic, due to other reasons, whatever. It was just so much going on. And not only with people that I was closely connected to, but we all saw it all over Facebook. It was just so much drama going on. And I started thinking about not the bad thing, but I started thinking about how God had kept us through the pandemic, because I was and my family was affected by the virus. God brought us through that. And not only that, but I started reflecting back to my childhood and I started thinking about things that God done for me as a child, because now my understanding has become open. So now I'm able to look back and see that it was God. It wasn't the luck of my parents. It wasn't just wisdom at the right time. No, it was God that kept me out of jail. God had kept me from sickness, kept me from accidents. I mentioned that we travel up and down the road, and sometimes we're tired. Late at night, we're driving, and just the blink of an eye, something could go wrong, but God kept us there. And so as I started reflecting on that, the song came, and I started writing down personal testimony. I started writing down really what I was thankful for, and tried to compress it into a song. Sent it to my cousin, and I asked him, man, can you do something with it? And surprisingly, he said, man, I think you have something special. And he 10 minutes later was sending me back a guitar track. And from there, we started putting the pieces together, and this song was birthed.
All right. Now, are you singing solo by yourself? You have a group that backs you up?
Yes, sir. There will be some guys on there. I actually will be debuting February 27th in Columbia, South Carolina. My mother is celebrating her 9th anniversary. Cheryl Snell, Blessed by Four, be there. The Anointed Brown Sisters, Blessed, Flossie Boyd Johnson, Gospel Originals, a host of other great groups, and we'll be there singing out. And it's my mother, so what better place than to sing for mama, and even with me starting out, she's always been there pushing, and no matter where we go, and no matter where I've been to travel, it's always good, to see the loved ones out there, to push and to support. So definitely means a lot. So that definitely gonna be a special day. Definitely a special day.
Amen. My daughter lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
And the area that you live in is where?
I'm in Aiken, South Carolina. It's right on the other side of Augusta, Georgia. It's about 30 minutes from Columbia, South Carolina. Yes, sir.
Augusta,
So right
Georgia.
on there.
Augusta,
Yes,
Georgia.
sir. Augusta, Georgia. Yes, sir.
Let me see. That's James Brown.
Yes, sir. The Godfather of Soul, Mr. James Brown, the owner. James Brown. He's actually out of Barnwell, South Carolina, but the Godfather was birthed in Augusta, Georgia. Not only that, but they call him the boss of the South, the Sonny Quintet. 83 years group has been singing, yes, sir, out of Augusta, Georgia. So yeah, I'm right on the other side of Augusta. It's about a hop and a skip away.
Okay. Went to audition, young. Jackson 5 made it. Went to audition in front of James Brown. Didn't get, the brother challenged me when I was in college.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, brother challenged me to do the split.
Okay.
He kept asking about Bobby Bird.
Okay.
I kept asking about Bobby. I didn't know him and Bobby Bird clashed.
Mr. Bird.
Yeah. Bobby I knew well.
Okay.
But he got upset with me. And, it was nothing but ministers. He met with all the preachers and everything. Right. He sat up in, and I kept asking about Bobby Bird, and he said, he just flipped the script. Young man, I'm older than you. Can you do the split? I looked at him, I'm like, what? He got up, did the split, came halfway up, almost fell, and pulled himself up. I said, Mr. Brown, you bad. You bad.
A bad man. And Mr. Brown is
and my neighbor leaned over toward me.
Yeah.
My neighbor leaned over to him and said, can you do the split? I said, yeah, I can do the split, but I ain't doing it on no rug. Yes,
he's another musical influence as well. James Brown, and everybody, is impacted by his music. So many entertainers, so many artists. You hear his music sampled everywhere, and he's definitely another piece of the puzzle that was very influential, just in me growing up and just the love of music in general.
Okay. Where do you see yourself going in 2022?
2022, I'm going up. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I know that God is taking me there. I'm trusting him, walking by faith, and Yeah, and the Bible says the faith without works is dead. So putting my foot to the ground, and I think it's just gonna be a good year. I can feel that. I'm expecting it to be a good year, not only for myself, but for everyone connected to me, just for everyone. We made it through a rough year, and I believe that this year is just gonna be a good year for everyone, you know. So I'm going up. If you see me, I'm just going up. I'm up.
All right, share with us. We have a few more minutes. Share with us your social sites, how ones can get in touch with you, and if you have any shout outs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you can follow me on Facebook at Sonny Brown Experience. That's without the E, Sonny Brown Experience, X only. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sonny B Experience. Again, that's Experience without the E. YouTube is Sonny Brown Experience. The song that you see behind me is now available on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, Pandora. Wherever you can listen to music, I promise you is there. So download it, check it out. Also come connect with me on my social media sites. I would love to fellowship with you, stay informed with you. Shout outs to my family, my wife, my manager, my team that all play a part to it, the producers of this record, Bruce Robinson Jr., Zamar Music staff, Mr. Pierre out of Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Darrell J. Jones, Ms. Connie Burr, Mr. Charles Ashley, a host of others. I thank you. And also, I want to give a special shout out to you, Elder Lockhart, for extending this opportunity to me. We fought through the technical issues, scheduling issues, but we finally made it happen. So I thank you and the KROV family for having me, giving me this opportunity to share with you and be blessed by you as well. So I definitely appreciate that.
Amen. And I'm blessed just by connecting with you.
Yes, sir.
Now
yes, sir.
We're going up together.
We're going up together. Going up together. Yes, sir.
Amen. Once again, global listeners, we've been talking to Sonny Brown right here on Rhema Gospel Express. And we once again, look him up. Go on the internet. You on YouTube?
Yes, sir. I'm on YouTube as well. Sonny Brown. You'll find me on there. You may see I just released a project a few months ago by the vision of Mr. Stanley Roy Latson. You may know him from Roy and Revelation. Him, Michael Boone, Mr. Paul Porter, Justin Mickens, Joe Wooten, Apostle Randy Walker, Flossie Boyd Johnson, myself, and a host of others paid tribute to Quartet's legends, released by Malachi. It's called Quartet is in My DNA, which is also available on all streaming platforms. So check it out.
Oh, I got to get in touch with Malachi again.
That's right.
My brother's been holding out on me.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Once again, we'd like to thank you. And thank those of you that are watching and continue to listen to RhemaGospelExpress.org. And on Sunday mornings, tune in. I'm right there with KROVFM.com radio, right here in San Antonio, Texas. Don't go away, sir. Coming up next, right here on RhemaGospelExpress.org radio is Sonny Brown.
This is for all my thankful people. Y'all do me a favor, turn your radios up. Let's go.
Have you ever looked back just to see